All right, guys, this is the last person that we're going to read about from the Titanic. And this is Jack Thayer, and this is Jack Thayer's story. John B. Thayer, called Jack by his friends and family, was on board the Titanic with his mother and father sailing back home to the United States. The 17-year-old was one of the few people who went down with the ship and lived to tell about it. With his parents asleep in the adjoining cabin, Jack Thayer relaxed on his bunk. It was 11:45 p.m., and he was a first-class passenger aboard the spectacular Titanic. With his porthole ajar, Jack felt a breeze and detected a slight sway of the vessel. The ship's engines then shut down abruptly, and all was eerily quiet. Jack heard footsteps pounding the passageway. He threw a coat over his pajamas and went to investigate the commotion. Jack dashed up to the A deck on the port side, but didn't see anything unusual. So he maneuvered toward the bow. His eyes were still adjusting to the darkness. Jack swore he could glimpse chunks of ice. He hurried to retrieve his mother and father from their compartment, and they returned to survey the starboard side of the A deck. His father spotted ice, and they crossed to the port side, where they felt the entire ship tilt toward the ocean. They immediately sprinted back to their stateroom to dress. Jack put on an extra moor vest, along with his life preserver and overcoat. They arrived on deck just as instructions were issued for women and children to evacuate. Jack said goodbye to his mother, and he and his father proceeded through the crowds. They became separated. Oh no. Jack located a friend, Milton, and the two considered their options. Hordes of passengers swamped the lifeboats, making them impossible to reach. They watched as men plunged into the ocean, but Milton resisted. He was not confident in his swimming abilities. The two young men stood on the rails of the ship. Jack encouraged Milton to jump, insisting he would go right after Milton. Jack saw Milton slide down the side of the ship into the water. He never saw Milton again. As the ship began to sink more rapidly, Jack jumped feet first into the icy water. The shock of the cold snatched his breath away. Around him, enormous pieces of the ship crashed into the water. The suction pulled him under, and he struggled to resurface. A wave pushed him further from the wreckage. He reached out and felt something. An overturned lifeboat. A hand extended and hauled him from the ocean. Jack Thayer would remain perched atop the lifeboat, cramped between dozens of men, freezing in the night air until a rescue ship arrived several hours later. Finally, aboard the rescue ship, Carpathia, Jack was reunited with his mother. His father did not survive. All right, friends, this is the last column that you're filling out on your comparison chart between the three accounts. Make sure you are only using the details to complete Jack Thayer's column. Don't complete anybody else's or add or change anything on the other two columns. I find it really sad that his father didn't survive, or his friend. But here's what I'd like for you to do. Jack Thayer's story was a little different from Margaret Brown and Lawrence Beasley's story. He had a friend that he could have helped out. I want you to brainstorm and think of one way that Jack Thayer could have helped his friend Milton survive. I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, friends, until next time.